So a couple days ago, I did a massive interview with a big K-pop group.
Awesome.
They're called BTS.
Yeah,
Have you heard of them?
I saw that interview.
Did you really? Okay. Well, they kept talking about
all their fans
That's awesome.
being like, "Can you collaborate with J-Hope?"
They really want to work with you.
Hey, I'm down. Send me a track. I'm a holla.
A lot of K-pop idols love Tinashe. And while that makes perfect sense because what's not to like about Tinashe, I want to get into some of the specific reasons why and discuss Tinashe's presence in K-pop. It seems kind of random at first, but really it's not as random as you think. Hopefully, she doesn't need much of an introduction, but for those of you who don't know, Tinashe is an American singer, songwriter, and dancer. She's been in the industry for a while now, mostly in the R&B and pop markets. Tinashe has several albums, from her debut album Aquarius to her most recent album 333. She's also known for her earlier hits like Tuwon and All Hands on Deck. Some of my favorite more recent songs of hers are Rascal, I Can See the Future, Pasadena, and Perfect Crime. If you want to know more about Tinashe and her career, I talk about it in my RCA Curse video, so make sure you check that out. Tinashe is named frequently by idols when they're asked about their favorite Western artists. It seemed to have all started back when Tinashe released her debut single, Tuwon, back in 2014. The song was popular in Korea, so of course Korean fans, or people who listen to music in general, which of course does include idols, caught wind of Tinashe for the first time. Alien, a popular dance studio in South Korea, uploaded a choreography video for Tinashe's Tuwon. The video currently has 27 million views, and it's their most popular choreography video to date. Due to Tuwon's popularity in South Korea, some idols and K-hip-hop artists have expressed wanting to possibly collaborate with Tinashe, including Jay Park. He's actually mentioned Tinashe in one of his songs. His song, All I Wanna Do, contains the lyrics, "I want them good vibes only, it's just me and my homies, and if you don't know me, then you better stay out of my section, unless you're Tinashe." In 2016, Tinashe did her first concert in South Korea, performing in Seoul. That same year, she was featured on Far East Movement's and Marshmello's song Superlove, along with EXO's Chanyeol. Chanyeol rapped in the song and apparently also helped compose and write some of the lyrics. Superlove likely only introduced Tinashe to an even wider audience of K-pop fans, especially those in EXO's fanbase. Hyolyn also has a song on that same album with Far East Movement, so it's possible that her fanbase also found Tinashe through the album. Another connection between Tinashe and Hyolyn is that Aaliyah Janelle, who choreographed the video for Hyolyn's song Dali, has done choreography to Tinashe's songs. Tinashe actually appeared in Aaliyah's choreography video for her song Link Up. For years, fans have been asking for Tinashe and Hyolyn to collab, especially back in 2018 when Dali dropped. I want to see Tinashe do the Dali choreo. A lot of people made comparisons to Tinashe when it came out, which are obviously due in part to Aaliyah having choreographed it. Dali as a song clearly has R&B, dance pop, and hip hop influences, and the song sounds kind of like one I could picture Tinashe singing back at that point in her career. Tinashe's most infamous connection to K-pop was made back when the girl group Dia allegedly copied her song and video for Superlove. Tinashe released Superlove back in 2016. The majority of the video has a beachy lifeguard concept, with Tinashe and her backup dancers dressed in red swimsuits and sun visors. Colin Robinson from Stereo Gum described the video as a sun-kissed beach clip with Tinashe and a group of bikini-clad Baywatch lifeguards rescuing hot dudes from drowning before they hit some sultry choreography on vintage beach towels. The song and the video were relatively popular and made Billboard's list of best songs of the year. Billboard and Rolling Stone both praised Superlove for its bubbly, infectious summer vibe. The video, of course, was popular on social media, as Tinashe's fans both praised and circulated the video. 2 years later, in 2018, Dia released their song Woo Woo. Dia is a smaller girl group that debuted back in 2015. In August of 2018, they released their fourth EP, Summer Aid, with Woo Woo as the title track. The music video obviously had the same summertime concept as Superlove, with the beach setting and the lifeguard outfits. Of course, I'm not saying that Tinashe owns a summertime concept or the beach or lifeguard outfits. However, it wasn't just the video concept that was extremely similar to Superlove, but also the song itself. If you listen to both Superlove and Woo Woo, it's obvious the song was bitten off of Tinashe. Woo Woo and Superlove sound extremely similar in production, cadence, and in the placement of the bridge and the chorus of the song. If you told me that Woo Woo was a Korean cover of Superlove, I would believe it. Like, truly, this is a complete copy of Tinashe's entire concept for Superlove, and to me, there's no way to argue that it's not. From the moment that the teaser for Woo Woo dropped, fans were fighting over whether Dia had truly plagiarized Tinashe. I'm not going to put the responsibility on the idols, but I do think claiming that this was just sampling, as a lot of DS fans did, is willful ignorance at the least. If it were a sample, one, we would either hear Tinashe's vocals or the original Superlove instrumental in the song in some way. However, we don't, and instead we just hear a version that's probably as close as possible to a copy without getting sued. Also, if it were a sample or interpolation, that doesn't explain why Tinashe isn't credited, or why Dia and their team have never mentioned Tinashe as a direct inspiration for Woo Woo. It's also worth it to mention that Shin Se-dong Tiger, the producer of Woo Woo, has been accused of plagiarizing other artists' songs before. In 2018, the Russian girl group Cerebro accused Momoland of copying their song Me Me Me. The song in question, Boom Boom, was produced by Shin Se-dong Tiger. I've heard Boom Boom before, obviously, and then I listened to Me 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 for this video, and they do sound nearly identical. Fans of Momoland and K-pop fans in general called Shin Se-dong out for his plagiarism, and how he could talk so casually about creating a song that it seems like he clearly copied. There's also been comparisons between Loca, a song he produced for the girl group Tribe, and Blackpink's Pretty Savage. In my opinion, the similarities between these two songs are lesser than the other two examples. But the fact that Shin Se-dong Tiger has been accused of plagiarism several times doesn't really help the accusations of him possibly copying Tinashe. And I do want to point out quickly that Superlove does have obvious 90s inspiration, and for some reason people have been trying to use that to justify the similarities between Woo Woo. But no other artist ever came forward and accused Tinashe of copying them, nor does it explain the similar song structure or creative direction to Superlove. In addition, Superlove came out 6 years ago, which was before the 90s and 2000s inspired music really made its resurgence, so I do find it hard to argue that all of this is just a coincidence. Tinashe responded to the situation with a tweet saying, "Me and the director were tripping when we saw it. She wanted to sue them, LMFAO." She also confirmed that no one on Dia's team had ever contacted her about it. Ironically, Woo Woo did get Dia their first music show win though. Tinashe is really popular with male idols, and it seems like a lot of them have a little crush on her. For example, BTS's Namjoon was seen with an image of Tinashe as his phone lock screen. J-Hope has also been seen with Tinashe as the screensaver on one of his computers in the past. He said before in interviews that Tinashe is one of the artists that he hopes to collaborate with in the future.
If you could collaborate with anyone, who would you guys choose?
없어요.
Tinashe. Okay. Tinashe.
We love her.
Yeah.
Tinashe said she'd be open to working with J-Hope and the rest of BTS for that matter. She said that once that interview dropped, ARMY was tweeting her non-stop to get her to collaborate with them. BTS has worked with other female Western artists like Halsey, Charli XCX, and Nicki Minaj, so it's not at all outside the realm of possibility. Maybe now that BTS is going to be working on their solo projects, we might get a Tinashe and J-Hope collab in the future. To promote the release of 333, the App Station had held an online streaming party. It was organized and hosted by the fan pages Station Kai and Tinashe Diary. Tinashe herself made an appearance and answered some fan questions. In response to being asked if she'd want to collab with Kai, she said she'd be down to work with him if he sent her a song. Soon after, Tinashe x Kai was trending on Twitter in several countries. I think part of what makes Tinashe a popular Western artist in South Korea is the fact that her performance style is common to that of a lot of K-pop idols. Not only does Tinashe sing in her shows, but she also executes an entire choreography routine, which is similar to idols. Tinashe's style of performing is probably familiar to a lot of idols who are in the business of giving an all-around dynamic performance every time they get on stage. Their fans as well are used to watching these sorts of performances, so watching Tinashe is an easy enough transition. Tinashe also writes and produces a lot of her music now, which several idols do as well. If Tinashe were an idol, she'd definitely be what's called an ace, which is someone who excels in several areas of performing. Tinashe can sing, she can dance, and she has excellent stage presence. I feel like there is a similarity between Tinashe and a lot of popular female soloists in K-pop. Maybe not exactly in the music itself, but in how they approach it, perform it, and present it. I think another reason why Tinashe specifically is so popular, especially as far as Western R&B artists goes, is that she does to a high extent fit South Korean beauty standards. Of course, Tinashe doesn't have pale skin, but otherwise she has a V-shaped face, smaller features, a nice smile, and doe eyes. Obviously, Tinashe is probably most people's idea of attractive, but those are some features that likely make her attractive to many South Koreans. In addition, Tinashe is also pretty slim and she isn't too tall. We do also have to talk about the elephant in the room that for some reason is a sensitive subject in K-pop. A lot of K-pop is inspired by Western R&B and hip-hop, both of which are genres led by black artists. Tinashe would obviously be appealing since she herself makes similar music to what many idols and their producers are influenced by. K-pop as a genre holds a deep fascination with a lot of music and fashion that's created by black artists, so I feel like Tinashe is just another case of this. I don't always think that this is a bad thing, and I think a lot of K-pop sounding familiar to me is what made me get into K-pop initially and then branch out more into the genre. However, I genuinely do think that the difference between Tinashe's popularity in South Korea versus that of other pop and R&B artists like, say, Normani or Ari Lennox or Summer Walker isn't solely based on Tinashe making the music that she does and performing in a way that might be more appealing in South Korea for whatever reason. Tinashe is biracial and light-skinned, and like I said, her fitting into a lot of the South Korean beauty standards likely contributes to more people willing to give her music a chance and in turn appreciate it. And please, if you already know that you plan on purposely missing my point, just keep that to yourself. Tinashe herself seems to be a K-pop fan, at least a casual one, so I'm sure she appreciates most of the love that she's gotten from fans and idols over the years. Way back in 2010, she tweeted about her newfound obsession with Boa, who's the queen of K-pop. Recently, she uploaded a TikTok of herself doing the Pink Venom choreo. She actually thought it was the choreo of another creator rather than it being the official Blackpink choreography. Also, back when Lisa uploaded a video of herself dancing to Tinashe's song Party Favors, Tinashe liked the video and left some flame emojis for Lisa. Honestly, now I want to see Tinashe and Lisa dance together. Back when people were tweeting about All I Want to Do, Tinashe saw a lot of those tweets and she actually did like them. Shortly after leaving Cube, Hyuna and Dawn posted a video of themselves dancing to Throw a Fit. I love watching idols dance to Tinashe because it really does take a lot of technical training to dance well to her music and hit the beats and still make it look effortless. If she's into it, I would really love to see Tinashe work with more idols in the future and hopefully follow up on a lot of these collabs that she's expressed interest in. Like I said earlier, I could see a collab between her and BTS, whether it's with the whole group or just one of the members. I could also see a Tinashe and Jay Park collab, and I'm sure he would like that. For some reason, I could also see Tinashe making something interesting with aespa. I think it's because they both lean into that more futuristic sci-fi sounding production, and some of aespa's slower songs have a sort of R&B vibe to them. I feel like I could imagine Tinashe and most of the songs on the Savage mini album, and even some of the more recent songs like Illusion. I think that this is because both aespa and Tinashe really shine in songs that have more experimental production. I also think Tinashe's voice would really complement Winter's especially, and Tinashe has a very similar vocal tone and color to Ning Ning's. It probably won't happen, but I 1000% would stream a Tinashe and aespa collab. But anyways, that's it for today's video. I thought it would be a fun topic to cover since Tinashe's name used to pop up in K-pop so much back in the day, especially in the late 2010s, and it still does here and there. And you guys know I love Tinashe, you know I love Western R&B, but you guys also know I love K-pop, so it's fun to talk about both and kind of talk about when they intersect with each other. I hope in the future we do get some Tinashe collabs with more idols because I feel like both fan bases would eat it up. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you yourself are a K-pop fan, please let me know down in the comments what groups or idols you would like to see Tinashe collaborate with. I'll see you guys very, very soon. Love you dolls. Bye-bye.